Hello guys, DJParson here, and this is the next qualifier for the Coubertin Cup. And again, the first game is going to be posted here on my channel, and the rest of the games are going to be posted on LaoHuang's channel on PlayTTA, and I'm going to link that in the description and the cards above. Hello guys, and welcome to this very special stream on this beautiful Sunday. We have the next qualifier for the Coubertin Cup, the $50 tournament organized by me and LaoHuang, who's also again, of course, joining me.
Yes, I'm here. I'm very excited for this. It is morning time where I am, and I have hydrated this morning.
That's good.
Ready to go.
Do you have some coffee ready for these amazing matches?
I have a little bit of coffee, yeah.
That's good. That's very good. If there's anything about the volume of one of us guys, please let us know. Chat, let us know so we can fix that. But yeah, we don't want to talk too much about other stuff. We want to talk about Through the Ages. And first, let's have a very quick look at the qualifier bracket. So we can hop into that. Here it is. And we can see in the top. Do you also have that open, LaoHuang? So we can talk about it a little bit. Here we can see that, of course, some people again have some free passes. But for example, Weston here is waiting for the winner of Wiz against Hibu. Very strong match. Hibu was able to win the last tournament that we did, right?
Yeah, he was.
And
he's
Wiz,
the returning champion in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. And Wiz also a very strong player. And beneath that, we even have djinges against LaoHuang. That is going to be the match that we are gonna cast on this stream. A lot of people, of course, know LaoHuang as the most experienced player by far. And djinges also one of the top players in experience and win rate and everything, so that is going to be a really amazing match. And then of course there's more players, Hannes against Rasmulde, Qiang against Fabian, that probably also a really strong match, and Damon Cleaner waiting for those two to finish. And then we have Kal, I don't know. What do you think? How do we pronounce that guy?
The P-Cal.
The P-Cal, okay, that's pretty good. The P-Cal against Kyolo, and waiting for them is Duck TTA. Then we have Gogu Geologu against Daisies, and for them is waiting Tracer. Lucas against Cope, and waiting for them is Chaval. And then another really amazing match, Kimo against Fight Trigger. And Sephiroth. Yeah, you guys should get other names that I can pronounce, but
I admire you for trying so hard to pronounce.
Yeah, I want to give each player who's playing a little bit, at least I want to give them the satisfaction that I have to pronounce their names. So finishing off, we have Fleet Pao against Chumchu, and waiting for them is MM34NN. So that are all of the players and the matches, and as we said, we're gonna start with djinges against LaoHuang, and I think we can give the players a go.
I think we can.
And then we just
let's do that.
Go back to that for a minute. There it is, and I have to adjust that just a little bit, like so.
All right, I'm gonna grab a picture real quick.
Yes, do that, and then you guys can look at what is in the match. And I just have to fix this real quickly. Set everything up, and so this is our screen. That is what is in the deck. You can see Pierre. djinges is showing us the Pierre that he's in. That is really awesome. And we're gonna see LaoHuang has his first turn. And he doesn't have the best pick, I would say. Maybe Sun Tzu. Or the Colossus, if you like that. Library also in, and Roman Roads. So it's gonna be very interesting if he decides to take the Colossus. Or if he'd rather go for... Yeah, what would you take? I mean, which lands are also not bad cards. Just not any... Not really flashy, are they?
No, they're not.
Interesting that djinges is looking so long at the H2 leaders here. And that is also often something that you have to plan around. And maybe also LaoHuang is having an extended look at the cards, what is in, what you have to plan around. And he takes which land? Interesting.
Yeah.
And now djinges has a interesting decision. Engineering Genius, Library of Alexandria, Sun Tzu and Colossus. Try a lot of strength related stuff in the beginning.
Drawn to Engineering Genius, right?
Yeah.
A couple of good wonders there.
Yeah, if he takes Engineering Genius, he gets either the library or the Colosseum.
Yep.
So Drawdown, I really like all of the hype that you're giving in the chat with your nice comments. Oh, I think I have to get rid of that. So it looks like djinges is thinking about the library, but looks like a really hard decision. I mean, I think I would take the Engineering Genius and be fine with getting Colosseum.
I really like Colosseum myself, so it makes it a little easier.
I mean, I have to say, library is my favorite wonder from HA, so grabbing that doesn't feel bad, but giving Engineering Genius to LaoHuang, who's also going to the Colosseum.
Also, I mean, Roman Roads may make its way out here. It didn't, though.
It doesn't. Oh, and interesting that Colosseum stays on 2 civil actions, so that is something that djinges definitely planned around. And that LaoHuang now has to decide if he takes Engineering Genius, he probably also has to take the Colosseum.
Yep.
And then that costs him one extra civil action. And also all of the leaders. If LaoHuang is not careful and takes Engineering Genius and Colosseum, for example, djinges can just take Alexander and all the leaders will be gone.
Yeah, it's a really awkward spot to start in.
Yeah. Oh, and MMM34NN, thanks for following. I hope your game is going nicely thus far. I think he's playing also, right? In the first round?
No, he has a bye in the first.
Oh, he has to wait. Okay, so then definitely hang out here, see who's gonna advance from this game and also who's gonna be your opponent next.
Yeah, this is a really tough choice.
Yeah, I mean...
you could do Engineering Genius, skip Colosseum, maybe? And just hope for an early...
I mean, you have to grab the Engineering Genius, right?
I think so, yeah.
And then not taking Colosseum. I mean, you could take Engineering Genius, Colosseum, and Aristotle.
Yeah.
But that doesn't feel... The problem with Colosseum for me is it doesn't produce anything. Only military cards, if you want to say that. Oh, and we see what he does. Builds a mine, grabs Engineering Genius, and Aristotle. So he skips Colosseum. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, that was just you had to choose from several not great choices on that one.
Yeah. And yeah, having to skip on the HA leader is nothing you want to do. Skipping on an H Wonder also is not what you want to do, but he couldn't really go for both. I mean, he could have, but that would have left him in a really awkward spot.
Yeah, very. And those, looking at the Age 1 wonders, they're not the most exciting.
Yeah.
They're fine. It's Taj, Forbidden City, St. Pete's, and Machu Picchu.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not the ones I'd want to see if I skipped an AJ Wonder, probably.
And djinges decides to go for Alexander. And that's always something a lot of people talk about, right? Alexander or Hippocrates, which one do you like most? And I usually like both of them fine. But interesting that djinges decides to go for Alex here. And doesn't go for Hippocrates, because Hippocrates would have left knights on 2, but maybe that's not something that he really looked at.
So, djinges with Alex has 2 aggressions. Does that tempt you into not using his ability right away?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, also depends if djinges can next turn grab Gutenberg. That doesn't look bad, right? You can. I guess we're gonna see if he does that. LaoHuang goes for Aristotle, builds a lab. Guess he takes... Oh, Monarchy, doesn't want the knights. But I mean, now djinges doesn't have a bad turn, right? He can use Alex, take Gutenberg, grab the alchemy, build the lab with Gutenberg and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he decides to go for Alex Conquest, getting 1 more yellow cube. can't do any other politics anyway. You can also look at it like that, right? If you only have aggressions, then you can't play and can't use your politics phase in any other way. It looks like he doesn't want to go for Gutenberg.
Yep. He's not interested.
And grabs the knights. Yeah.
Okay.
Rich landed knights, so I guess he wants iron with that. That is always something that's really a good combo. Getting the rich land to get those irons out for cheaper. And he again draws another aggression and the legion, so no events for him.
So does he take one of these wonders?
I mean, he has Engineering Genius. What other wonder would he want besides? I mean, Forbidden City this early is not bad,
it's
right?
Not bad. Yeah, exactly. It's not bad. Too early to jump into Machu Picchu. You just don't know, like, how it's going to work out, I would think. And the only other wonder in Age 1 that would, I think, be worth it might be St. Pete's. But you don't know when that's going to happen.
Yeah, that might come out very late, and then you lose the Engineering Genius. And also, what do you spend your resources on if you wait for more turns to wait for what you want to go for? If you don't take the wonder this turn, right. You can spend some food, but you can't build anything. You don't want to build religions. You don't want to build warriors. And that's why you need an HA wonder usually, or an early H1, because you have those resources that you can't spend. I mean, he could take Alchemy. But no, he decides to go for Forbidden City.
Yep, that makes sense.
Can use Engineering... No, it doesn't use Engineering Genius because of Corruption, I guess. And then he can finish that next turn. So yeah, I think I agree definitely with that decision.
Me too.
Now Djinges doesn't have a leader, so... I mean, these also aren't the greatest leaders, right? So Nostradamus definitely feels like a good pick. He's probably my favorite of those that are left. And hovers over rich land. Does he want to build another mine? I mean, you get one more population, to so to speak, with Alex. So going for another mine for free can pay off pretty nicely. And this one problem with Nostradamus is he doesn't have any events in hand, and you want to play something with Nostradamus.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. I mean, the odds are pretty good that he'll draw one this turn, but
yeah, that's true. Keeps the legion, gets rid of 2 aggressions. And then he really hopes for an event card and Call to Arms, so that is perfect for Nostradamus. So that is a really good draw, because Call to Arms punches only the weakest player, and Nostradamus can't help you with being the strongest, but he's not gonna make you being the weakest. Also, that's a really nice side effect that we know which cards are played, because Djinges knows, because of course we don't see the aspect of LaoHuang's screen.
Yeah, that's funny.
So Djinges being the perfect observer and picking Nostradamus for us, so well done. As LaoHuang, he can grab something and go for Monarchy. Also, he wants to finish the Forbidden City. I mean, it feels like a good turn, right? Grabbing one more technology to get one more science with Aristotle.
Mm-hmm.
And then being able to go for the Monarchy and finishing the Forbidden City.
Yep, that seems pretty good.
Don't know what else. I mean, you need 2 civil actions for the Forbidden City, 1 for developing monarchy, but you get 2 more back, so you will be at 6 civil actions from the monarchy and the Forbidden City. And then that is, yeah, I think that's a really strong start, getting a lot of civil actions. Yeah, grabs theology, goes for monarchy, finishes Forbidden City. And does he grab a new leader? No, increase population. And he does grab Columbus, so probably has a good colony in hand.
Yeah. Only Nostradamus could see those.
Yeah, if only. So, Cold Arms, of course, played by djinges here. And development of planning will be science or trade routes. That can be a tough decision, right? But
it's always a tough choice, yeah.
The science is worth quite a lot.
I mean, he has... Yeah, that's tough. Depends on the situation. Which one did he do? He did trade routes, right?
No, I think he took the science.
Did he? Okay.
Not completely sure. This will give him corruption. He wants to go for the Code of Laws. Sadly, that is on 2 civil actions, so can't quite make the turn work. I didn't hate the other way, like finishing library, increasing population once. But yeah, staying at 4 civil actions, probably the whole, yeah, it will be the whole H1 at 4 civil actions against 6 from LaoHuang.
Yeah.
That's pretty rough.
Risky.
Draws Dark Ages and Crusades. Dark Ages doesn't seem that strong because it has a lot of signs in the hand at the moment, but yeah, the other one, Crusades, definitely something that Nostradamus can play nicely. Yeah, exactly.
To have him steal 4 culture from himself.
Yeah, that is always funny. You are the strongest and you are the weakest, and basically nothing happens. And your drawdown, we have a little bit of music going because last tournament felt a little bit quiet in between talking and everything. So I had a little bit of chill music. Hope you guys don't mind. And LaoHuang, it looks pretty nicely with the 6 civil actions.
Yeah. With
the monarchy going, so also 3 military actions. So being able to afford an early monarchy because of Aristotle. Okay, and he takes Swordsman, Code of Laws. That's 7 civil actions now that he can go for. Wow. And can grab Iron. And grabs Cultural Heritage as well.
Yeah, so he can get Iron next turn too.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Aristotle now doing a lot of work. If you can grab so many cards with your civil actions, so many technologies, Aristotle is worth so much. And djinges, I don't know, would you be a little bit worried about now that LaoHuang will run away with all of those civil actions, right?
I mean, definitely, yeah, I'm concerned. Someone has, you know, this many actions this early.
Yeah.
Still on 4. Definitely. And there's no short-term way that I'm going to be able to fix that either.
djinges, yeah, djinges goes for Knight now. Not completely sure what he wants to do with that. Grabbing the St. Peter's Basilica will give him corruption, so he doesn't have the best ways to spend his resource because he's missing civil actions. It feels like.
Yeah, these 4 bronze are haunting him a little bit here.
So decides to go for Knights. The problem is this place still gives him corruption.
Yep.
So yeah, maybe that 4th bronze not being that successful, I guess. mean, he could build a religion. Oh, and decides to do that, but takes it back again. I mean, grabbing Bread and Circus and then building a religion.
Yeah, that doesn't feel good.
Yeah. We have the screen, right? Do we have Bach in the mix?
The screen that I grabbed actually was just the age 1 screen.
Ah, okay.
I don't know.
So he does go with the religion.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Oh, and grabs Uncertain Borders. That is a very strong card. That can mean that you can commit quite a lot to strength. And those knights that djinges has can come in quite handy. So I think that's a good pickup. That he has problems deciding where he wants to invest at the moment, I think. djinges is, so getting something that makes military worth it, I think is very good.
Yeah. Especially with Nostradamus, that is a little bit easier to do also.
Yeah. And of course, grabbing that Bread and Circus, I can't complain about that, especially with Pierre in the game. So, of course, big fan of that. And I guess djinges can next turn maybe go for the iron and stuff like that. I guess a lot really comes down to civil actions now. If djinges can maybe get Constitutional Monarchy early.
Right.
Or if you can go for Republic and strategy. But yeah, LaoHuang seems like a good position, right? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to get into iron here, right?
Yeah.
And then elect Columbus. And what's left? That's a few actions left. Take knights, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, he has Phalanx revealed already, so yeah, definitely should grab that. And he still has Aristotle, so he gets 1 science for all of these. He doesn't even have to play the Cultural Heritage. That is really strong. He can upgrade all of his mines to iron. And grab Breakthrough if he wants.
Wow.
Wow, yeah.
Very strong.
Yeah, this is a really, really strong opening for LaoHuang. djinges has the strength advantage and the politics advantage. He will know 3 cards on the deck. And he's getting quite a lot of culture from Nostradamus early.
At this point, Yellow has really converted that awkward start pretty well.
Yeah, that early Forbidden City was really, really important for him, I feel. Oh, and the free population actually giving djinges some problems here, because then he can't get rid of his food. He's missing 1 food now.
Ooh.
I guess he can spend that on the iron at least. So you also have quite a lot of resource production for now. And with his last action he could, I mean, maybe grab the Warfare or develop Bread and Circuses. Yeah, one of those two. I would have liked Warfare as well. At least get your military actions going. So if LaoHuang denies Constitutional Monarchy and strategy, djinges will stay at the 3 military actions. Feels like forever. But he's thinking about it, if that is really what he wants to do.
Yeah, it's a little late for Theocracy.
Yeah, Theocracy can be quite good in the beginning of H1, but in the end, that's definitely not what you want to have. And he draws Hussars. That is not a bad tactic for him. And Inhabited Territory. And LaoHuang now has so many choices that he can make. Also, it's going to be interesting what territory he has for his Columbus. I mean, if it's the vast territory now, then it feels so strong for him. Doesn't have any more food, but he has irrigation. He has enough resource to upgrade all of those. He has breakthroughs. And yeah, those 7 civil actions against 4. And there's the early Conmon. I think
Yeah, does he
grabbing
take
that
that
away.
away?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so, right? Common would be perfect for djinges because he doesn't have civil or military actions. So grabbing that away for 3. And he can afford it, right? LaoHuang can definitely afford that.
And then he can't get into knights yet. So do you spend your science on irrigation or wait for?
I mean, he can, with cultural heritage and breakthrough, he can afford knights and irrigation next turn, right? So you can go for irrigation this turn with breakthrough, play cultural heritage, and go for knights next turn. So that's going to be very interesting if he goes for that, or if he saves us. I mean, he has enough population at the moment, so he doesn't need to upgrade his food this turn that badly. Yeah, grabs Conmon away and goes for a 3rd lab. Oh, and he got vast territory apparently. I think djinges is going to show us
something,
that.
or vast, or
I think it was vast, right? Yeah, vast territory.
Wow. Man,
everything looking good for LaoHuang here. And djinges will open the new deposits. That a lot of strength for both of these now. But djinges needs food more than he needs resources. I mean, he can upgrade even more iron, so maybe with some nice wonders that can be quite strong. But
do you think about irrigation here? Yeah. He is.
I mean, djinges would have loved to get the uncertain borders, right? That would have meant that he can get another population out. So that is definitely what he hoped for when opening the politics. Oh, destroys one of those mines now. Goes for another knight. He can go up to 8 strength. I mean, he needs to win the uncertain borders now, I think.
So he destroyed a bronze instead of building a bread and circuses?
Oh yeah, he could have also done that, I guess. I mean, he needed the population to put into the knights, right? That's why I needed to destroy his mine.
Yeah, of course. Yep.
Going up to 8 strength now, maybe threatening him a little bit. Forcing him to go for the knights instead of, I don't know, alchemy and irrigation. I guess he could do both. But with 15 resources, it's gonna be very important what tactic LaoHuang has here. I mean, if you can force LaoHuang into a very military-centric game, I mean, that's pretty hard for djinges with only 2 military actions, but if you can force him to do that. LaoHuang is not producing any culture at the moment, and djinges is getting quite a bit from Nostradamus, and a little bit from his religion and the library. So he's building up quite a nice cultural lead.
Yeah, it's very interesting. So how does LaoHuang convert this? Interesting to see.
I mean, he has the tactic played already. So if he goes for knight, builds 1 and builds... I guess he could also go for swordsman, so going for both. Build a swordsman, build a knight. And he could go up to 8 strength, and if he upgrades the last warrior to a swordsman, he could even go up to 9, I think. So yeah, that will be quite interesting if he maybe calls the bluff from djinges and says you can't play aggressions or anything. But now looks like he will go for at least 1 knight. Goes for swordsman as well. Will straight out build 1 and yeah, upgrade the next, so he goes up to 9 strength. So djinges has a tough decision. Does he play politics now? Does he open the uncertain borders maybe? Or the call to arms? I mean, call to arms would be no problem because LaoHuang is still the weakest player. And uncertain borders would do nothing, but did djinges invest too much to now get nothing out of the uncertain borders?
I think you have to. Yeah, you just have to take the risk. Right. Okay.
Crusades, and yeah, LaoHuang is the strongest and the weakest player. And we have call to arms and the uncertain borders left.
Now does djinges try to get stronger again?
It should be hard, right? He could build one bread and circus to be at the same strength. So at least he will not be the weakest. And then hopes to maybe get... to maybe open the call to arms instead of uncertain borders.
Mm-hmm.
Thinks about grabbing the knights, the cavalrymen. But this turn also doesn't... I mean, this production is looking pretty nice now with 2 irrigation and the coal. Has enough science with the library, so it's not looking bad. Oh, and conquistadors and their strategy. So I mean, if LaoHuang now has to grab strategy for 3, he will probably do that, but his science is also running a little bit low. And forcing him to spend 3 civil actions on the strategy puts him at 4 civil actions again. So he's kind of wasting all of those. Not really wasting, but spending them on stuff really expensively.
Right, right. Yeah, that strategy's not an obvious take for me here.
I mean, with Darwin, he probably does, right? I would be very surprised not to see the strategy. Yes, he does. Also goes up to 11 strength. So does djinges risk it now? Yeah, looks like he really wants all of the culture he can out of Nostradamus. And we call to arms, so that's really, really good. That is really, really good. But again, he's missing military action so badly. We'll go with the Louvre, and I guess take cavalrymen, make this a military arms race maybe. And the Louvre can be quite good for that in the end if you get those extra resources that you really, really need.
Mm-hmm.
Commit to a lot of culture early and then build up a lot of military. He also is guaranteed to either get Nobel or Napoleon, because LaoHuang already committed to Darwin.
Yeah, does he want the cavalrymen here? That's interesting.
Also doesn't. Yeah, it's really
choices with 4 actions though.
And decides not to. I mean, yeah, if you have knights already, that's definitely something that's reasonable, I would say. Also,
yeah,
djinges...
I think it's like in this situation you have hussars, so it makes a little bit more sense, and you know, maybe you want to try to get stronger for uncertain borders.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough to do.
Yeah, I would think that he doesn't have enough military actions to really go for that. I mean, grabbing cavalrymen and upgrading them costs so many military actions for not quite as many, as much strength, because only, I mean, each cavalryman gives you 1.5 strength. That is not that much for 1 military action if you don't have a lot.
Yeah.
But interestingly, djinges can also still go for Robespierre and maybe Republic. That would be, I think, a very strong turn for him. Getting his 3rd military action and a lot of civil actions. So he has a lot of nice leaders left that he can go for. He can either go for a Robespierre if he gets Republic, he can go for Napoleon or Nobel. LaoHuang with 5 selections, so this time because of the call to arms. Looks like he's not playing politics. He could grab Harvard College, he needs more science production. So that could be nice. He has a lot of cards in hand. I think that might actually be full, right? Would probably love Breakthrough as well. Yes, resources are looking very great, so yeah, grabs Harvard College. Could have finished that this turn if not for the call to arms, so that was pretty nice for him. And 4 corruption. Don't often see that, but looks like he has enough. Feels like he doesn't need all of those resources. And there's Republic, and there's Robespierre.
Yep.
Problem is he can't do both this turn. Oh, does he really play uncertain?
Oh, you can't. Yeah.
But yeah, you can go for the Republic with normal science. And that's actually really good. You can then also go for Napoleon next turn, maybe grab a breakthrough. So he finally gets his civil actions going.
Yep.
Once revolutionary idea.
Yeah,
And
Robespierre. Oh, yeah. It's hard to fit it in this turn.
Yeah. I mean, at least Napoleon will also give him his third military action, so that is also a nice combo, Republic and Napoleon.
So you're gonna try to not be weakest here somehow?
I mean, he maybe could, right? If decides he wants to go for the prospect. Oh, interesting. That hurts.
He's not getting stronger, so it might as well.
Yeah, spend all of his science, so Dark Ages will not affect him. And I mean, he has food under control. So losing one yellow cube, yeah, that's gonna suck quite a lot, especially when the age ends. But looks like a tough decision he had to make.
Mm-hmm.
And looks like he is thinking about building a knight or not. And looks like he doesn't want to. Gets rid of the Legion. I mean, no real reason why we would go for knight, right?
Yeah, not at this point.
So next turn you can easily finish the Louvre and take Napoleon. That will be a lot of strength. He's guaranteed to get the cannons as well. I guess he didn't want to build a knight to be able to maybe draw mobile artillery, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe also gets rifleman next turn, then can go for the conquistadors. But yeah, with Napoleon, probably the cannons, and then yeah, make this game a little bit messy with Napoleon and the Louvre. So you're producing a lot of culture, so your opponent feels like he has to go for wars, and then against Napoleon, that's pretty hard, right?
Yeah.
Fabian is saying that he's done, but he can't report the game results. Did we start the tournament?
Oh, that's the...
That's the problem, we didn't start the tournament.
That's the problem. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, we should probably do that when all of the games are going.
Okay, you go report now.
Nice. So LaoHuang will probably finish his university, not his Harvard College this turn. Gets a lot of cultural science production all of a sudden. Can afford strategy next turn. It's still looking really, really good for him, I would say, with the nice resource production. I mean, djinges has that as well. But
yeah,
interesting. Which
they both definitely have things to be really happy about.
Yeah.
And things to be concerned about. Really interesting.
It will also be quite interesting if LaoHuang plays any technologies this turn. Maybe the cannons. Or if he saves up his science, and then the Dark Ages will cost him quite a lot, especially if he produces like 6 culture this turn. He will be at 12. And then he will lose quite a lot from the Dark Ages. Or if he goes for the cannons this turn. Yeah, it looks like he spends his science this turn.
Yep.
Wants to go for team sports. Takes away patriotism. And again, no, he builds 1 cannon. Goes up to 16. Doesn't reveal a tactic.
Hmm.
And now djinges, yeah, wants to trigger the Dark Ages. He loses, LaoHuang loses 1, but yeah, you still want to use Nostradamus, so that's 5 culture, that's actually quite a lot. And can go for Napoleon. Can go for Rifleman and the cannons. Can go for Conquistador, so does he skip the cannons? I mean, he can still finish the Louvre. And grab the cannons. He will have corruption, but that's really hard not to have this turn. I think I would like grabbing the cannon.
I think so.
Instead of, yeah, he does, so instead of increasing population. He's stronger now, which is nice. Cannons are very good for Napoleon anyway. Not grabbing them would mean that LaoHuang could play any tactic that he wants. And djinges not being able to copy it. Oh, and
he's just searching for a corruption answer, is what it looks like.
Yeah. How would you feel about maybe spending one of those yellow cubes from the Louvre? But I guess like this he doesn't need to. But yeah, we can see he has 2 blue cubes on the field, and that just barely makes him not have corruption. That is the problem with the Louvre.
Yeah, it feels pretty bad to let cannon go.
Yeah.
I mean, you just saw LaoHuang build a cannon.
Yeah, LaoHuang now has the Napoleonic.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy.
It's the war of fancy hat.
Yeah. But Darwin has the beard, the better beard, so he's gonna win that.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, very, very interesting. He's at 7 culture production now and has a big lead, so LaoHuang has to find a way to catch up.
Yeah, we're going into H3. I think it's 40 plus point difference.
Yeah.
Quite a bit.
The big thing that LaoHuang has that djinges definitely doesn't is science production. It's 6 against 3 still. So Justice System, for example, would be so amazing for djinges. It's going to be interesting if LaoHuang takes that away, especially because with Darwin taking stuff away feels pretty great. It only costs 1 civil action to take away the Justice System. Also pretty nice to see that LaoHuang also took the team spot, so both of these players are prepared for Pierre. So who knows when he will show up.
Are there... so do you grab scientific method here? I mean, you're at 6 science. I don't know what leaders are in, unfortunately. But if there's a Bill Gates, maybe you think about scientific method.
Yeah, I mean, it can feel a little bit too late, especially with the Harvard College. He can't go for that this turn, sure. Right? He's, because of that Darker Ages, he's at 5.
Yeah.
So going for the scientific method next turn, I mean, you can grab it. He has a lot of civil actions, so spending 1 on getting that. Also, there's Bill Gates and Sid Meier for those. Yeah, maybe you go for that. Also, taking that away from djinges, you can take the second scientific method, so djinges can't go for that. And then, yeah, djinges is at 6 or 7 science, so if you give him scientific method, all of a sudden djinges will have solved his last really big problem. I guess his military actions, you could say, are also one problem for him, but science is more so. Do you ever think about Kremlin, maybe?
Yeah, I was just looking at that. I mean, if you go Kremlin, you have to do something for happiness also.
I mean, he has team spots in hand, right?
Yeah, you just have to do that then.
Yeah. So very interesting that LaoHuang is going very deep into his reserve at the first turn of H3. That can always give you problems in the end when you need to calculate a big war, something that can take some time. And then you need more of your reserve.
Yeah, it's like an interesting inflection point in the match. Maybe he chooses one direction versus another. Here.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly, because that's why I like being ahead in culture in H3, because the other player has to find the way to overtake you. You can just defend and react to what your opponent is doing, but in LaoHuang's position you have to now find a way, or what is the best way, what are the best chances for you to overtake him? Do you need to prepare for some wars? Do you want to go for a lot of big impacts, big wonders, big culture production in the end? Because he built up his economy pretty early, and he got a lot of civil actions pretty early. Okay, let's take a look what he goes for.
Team sports.
And he has Napoleonic. I think djinges is not happy about that.
Wants that cannon back.
Yeah. Maybe he gets early rockets or something.
Oh, interesting.
Grabs the other scientific method.
He left the scientific method.
Does that do anything with the card row? Not really, right? Not that I would see.
Not really. Organized religion?
Yeah, no. I don't think anyone's looking too much into that. But it looks like djinges is only at 5 signs, so he can't go with the scientific method this turn. I mean, computers just showed up. Do you ever gonna go for that? And as we said, justice system with the yellow cubes. I mean, having 2 corruption always from the Louvre makes that one up pretty bad. So you really want more yellow cubes and more blue cubes from justice system. Yeah, maybe just go for that so you finally don't have corruption anymore. But he takes a step back again. Could destroy something, but oh, this feels so early to destroy labs. I mean, I am a big fan of destroying philosophies. I have to be honest, I like that quite a lot, destroying them. But this early, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of making your weakness weaker.
Yeah. It looks like djinges is counting for maybe a war from LaoHuang. He goes for a couple of cannons. Yeah, I think the wave of nationalism is a very good idea. And then reserves. Yep. I mean, maybe you just say, I have 7 culture production, I have a big culture lead, I just have to defend. So you take those cards that give you potential strength, like wave of nationalism and reserves. So I mean, that's just the plan. Oh, and a lot of nice yellow cards. Patriotism, military build-up, revolutionary idea from H3, all of those.
Yes, we're getting a lot of H3 yellows right out of the gate here.
Probably not what LaoHuang really wanted. He probably wanted some really important technologies to show up that he could still grab for cheap with Darwin. Like military theory or something like that. It's also going to be interesting who of these guys gets Pierre. And that will be quite a lot of culture production for both of them. Also, the question is going to be if djinges goes for him immediately, or does he just keep him in hand because he feels like Napoleon is going to be more important to defend against wars. And actually, there's a war over territory from LaoHuang. He will go for at least 1 cannon, it seems like. And 1 cannon is going to be 10 more strength.
And played that frugality.
Oh, using the Harvard College. I think that's kind of cheating. So he can't get out the last knight, doesn't have enough resources, but 40 strength is still pretty nice.
Yeah.
And there's military theory. And there's
no
immigration.
Leaders yet.
Yeah, no leaders at all. That's right.
They're all hanging out with Pierre at the bottom of the deck.
Yeah. Pierre's convinced all of them that don't show yourselves yet. And yeah, it looks like djinges is in full defend mode, just grabbing anything that's super important. Grabbing a revolutionary idea for the military theory. I mean, military buildup would also be really, really important.
I mean, just like last turn though, it feels a little early to be on the defensive as much. But
Yeah.
see.
And it's only the war over territory. I mean, I say only, and that's gonna give djinges some huge problems. If only he could have gone for military theory this turn.
Can he get one more strength?
Yeah, one more would be amazing. I mean, like this, he's gonna lose 3 yellows, and then his bank will be full. He doesn't have enough next turn for one more population. He's gonna have to at least something to build more happy faces.
Yeah, that's hard.
That's rough. And there's Pierre. Oh, prosperity.
Oh,
that is really good for
right.
djinges.
Well,
that solves a lot of his issues. But I guess we're gonna see Pierre now from LaoHuang. Problem for him is Pierre enough for the culture production? I mean, Darwin is giving him 2, Pierre would give him 4 now. But djinges also still has a lot more from the Louvre, so as long as you're not forcing him to take resources from the Louvre, then Pierre's probably not enough. You can still take him and still pressure with the wars and everything.
Yeah.
But he probably needs something on top.
Yeah, we also have not seen an air forces yet.
Oh, that's right, yeah. And the rockets that djinges probably is looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you wonder how much of this comes down to him not taking the cannons. He really struggled with that decision, and yeah, it got back to him because LaoHuang had the Napoleonic army.
How much is he down?
In
50?
culture?
60?
Yeah, something like that.
50.
And also djinges is still producing a lot more. I think djinges is at 7 and LaoHuang at 3 at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So also LaoHuang doesn't have the most science. If he takes Pierre, he doesn't have the most civil action, so maybe he can't take the revolutionary idea on 3 that just showed up, so djinges gets that one as well. And then he can't go for something like movies, because if you go for movies, you're kind of telling djinges, okay, I'm not going to go for wars. You probably need to take away the military build-up, so... I mean, LaoHuang has quite a lot of civil actions, and with Darwin even more, so to speak. But if he has to grab Pierre for 3, and maybe the revolutionary idea, maybe you can't djinges have all of those, because he's at 1 science production. And he is going down to 120 seconds in his reserve time already. I think that might become a big problem for him. I don't know, I mean, LaoHuang is one of the most experienced players in the world, or the most experienced player through the ages. But I think he mostly plays async games, so that is a factor that might get quite important if he doesn't have the time to calculate a war. Oh,
Yeah.
grabs revolutionary idea, patriotism, and no Pierre.
Ooh.
No Pierre for him. And I
Well, you
think
know what that
djinges... That means he probably has a war of a culture in hand.
Yeah.
There was no Gandhi, right?
I don't think there's Gandhi now.
Oh, there's Gandhi.
Oh, there is. Oh, well, right after I said that,
But djinges goes for Pierre instead, immediately. Maybe doesn't see Gandhi. Ooh, I mean, is he just kind of betting that LaoHuang doesn't have a war? I mean, he's played so defensively up to this point. Now all of a sudden gets rid
Air
of
forces there also.
Yeah, he doesn't take air forces. He gets rid of Napoleon. Doesn't take Gandhi.
That's very brave.
Yeah, I mean, Gandhi would mean LaoHuang is at 5 military actions. He can't declare the war. Maybe not super safe, but...
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I think you should wait. What do you think? Would you go for Gandhi? Apparently
I
djinges
think
isn't.
so. I mean, I think so because that's the way that LaoHuang can win.
Yeah.
Um,
It,
I mean, it's like you're gambling that he doesn't have a war, basically, right?
yeah.
Because now there's air forces, and he can get into it this turn too.
Maybe doesn't even need that. He has enough for one more knight, one more swordsman.
Yeah.
I have the tactic again. That is. I mean, and if djinges had gone for Gandhi, then it would have been pretty hard for LaoHuang. He would have to go for the Conmon to get more military actions, maybe for communism, but he can't go for that this turn. So he would need to find a way to get more military actions. And while he's searching for that, he can't declare wars. Yeah, maybe djinges just missed Gandhi. I mean, I would get pretty excited about Pierre as well.
Yeah.
If I could have gotten him. But yeah, maybe Gandhi would have been a safer choice.
He wanted to upgrade his hat. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah. We are in the head wars at least. So
He
looks
didn't quite
like
get the full beard though. All he got was a mustache.
oh yeah. Oh, and now the inhabited territory. I mean, djinges has another territory in there. Looks like he wants to pass. You could try to make it expensive at least. I mean, one knight isn't that much for djinges, so making it a little bit expensive for LaoHuang maybe. But it looks like he wants to pass, and LaoHuang takes it.
Because he just he has one reserves, right? So he could. It's not super easy for him to get more population out.
Yeah, I mean, this could come down to just one war, and djinges having enough against that, like LaoHuang not being able to steal enough. Especially if djinges declares the Olympic Games, that costs LaoHuang another 8 culture. Because LaoHuang, again, if he had the war, he probably could have gone for that this turn.
Yeah.
And he also can prepare for really, really big war now with the air forces and everything. Yeah, so that's...
If you're only holding one war, it's you want tempting to wait until you can do the right really big war.
And then if you get like a 30 culture war, that is an 80 culture swing, that should be enough, but I mean, it could get close with the Olympic Games if djinges times that correctly, so that he gets 8 culture and LaoHuang loses 8. That's a 16 culture swing, and LaoHuang still only producing 2 culture. And that's also where Gandhi really shines. Why do you not only that your opponent can't declare the war always, but if he wants to declare the war, then he doesn't have any military reactions left to build up his military, so it's really easy to react to what he's doing, because he can't declare the war and go for a lot of strength in the same turn.
Yeah, definitely.
And djinges is still sitting at the conquistadors, right? So if he gets rockets, he has great potential to upgrade his strength by quite a lot. So if he has enough signs for that, he maybe can upgrade. Looks like LaoHuang is going for the air forces.
He is.
Takes reserves. Yeah, probably plans around being able to build 2 air forces next turn. Or this turn even. He can do that this turn.
He used Harvard again.
Oh. So it goes up to 67.
Now he can build. His armies are in a weird state though. He has 4 cannons and 3 knights and 2 swordsmen.
So I mean, he just needs 1 more swordsman to fulfill again, and then 2 swordsmen and a knight for another tactic.
He only has 2 I guess depending on if and what war he's holding, he only has 2 military actions.
Yeah.
Use.
I mean, Jing is probably planning with the territory. That's really nice knowledge, right? You can not reveal that this turn, and then LaoHuang declares the war, and then you make him bid something for the territory because you open that, and then he loses strength maybe, or you get that cheap territory and can take a lot of resource and be able to defend. And there are the rockets and the air force, but he doesn't have enough science for that, so... And starts deleting his mines. Yeah, missing a little bit of science. If he had enough for air forces, that could still work. But he's missing 6 science, so 1 revolutionary idea. Starts deleting the religion. And a mine. Do you delete another mine? Okay, takes oil. Yeah, taking stuff away, so LaoHuang will get 1 war, but yeah, that might be enough. And Jinx has a lot of military actions, so he can spend all of his resources next turn. He has 6 more from the Louvre if he really wants to.
Yep. 14.
So it goes up to 44. Also, might be important that you can maybe defend against an aggression, but probably not next turn. If LaoHuang doesn't have a war next turn, then Jinx definitely wins. That is LaoHuang's last possibility to go for that. So yeah.
Yeah, and then Genghis can get 1 more army. Looks like.
Yeah.
To be 3. 7,
oh,
12
Marlene still is there. So LaoHuang now can take Marlene and use her for his armies if that makes stuff better for him. So if we see politics from LaoHuang now, then that does mean that he doesn't have a war. That could be the game. But if you don't see anything yet, then he's declaring that war and spending his turn building up his military. I mean, he only has 6 resources, so that is enough for 1 swordsman. Oh, that's enough for 1 swordsman, a knight, and Marlene Dietrich. So he has fulfills the army 2 more times. But this might not be enough, who knows? I mean, he is gonna lose 8 culture from Pierre from the Olympic Games. He will go up, I don't know, maybe 20 more?
Yeah, what is it? 7, 14, 18. He'd go up 18 more. 85.
And Genghis can defend with another army that's...
Take it to 56. So it's 30, 28. To be 30, 33 or something like that.
Yeah.
So 70-point swing minus 8 for the Olympics. It's close.
Yeah, it's gonna be really close.
There's no impacts, right?
I think there are impacts. I think there are 3 impacts even.
Oh, wow.
I mean, there's H2 card on top that Genghis is seeing. I think that's because all of the rest are H3.
Yep, makes sense.
I mean, Pierre also gave Genghis a lot of culture. We talked about him not taking Gandhi, but Pierre resulted in a lot of culture for him. So it would have been interesting if with Gandhi, LaoHuang couldn't have gone for the war or something. But Pierre definitely gave, especially with the swing because of the Olympic Games, that Genghis timed perfectly now. That might be really important, that he also produced so much with Pierre. I mean, that's 6 culture each turn that he's getting out of him.
Yeah. I mean, it was a gamble that the war didn't get declared last turn.
There's the war. Takes reserves. Oh, he can take...
Oh yeah, he has Harvard, of course.
Always forgot about Harvard, yeah. But that means he doesn't get Marlene.
Another Air Force.
88. But this means Oh, he has one cannon that he can throw away because of the territory on top. I guess djinges will reveal that. I mean, that's a lot of strength. That's a really, really big war that LaoHuang is giving him there. Also interesting, input of government and autonomous territory. That's a nice combo. So I think djinges can win that. Just, I mean,
impact of strength and competition would be nice for yellow.
Yeah. So what does djinges delete here to get more population out? His food?
Everything?
It will give him starvation. 56.
So then, do you want starvation or uprising?
Starvation, right? If you only...
Yep.
Yeah, only one starvation. You still produce 12 culture. You have happiness, interesting, and there's autonomous. When he can, with a knight, right? And all of his cards. LaoHuang will be able to send away one cannon that he has more than he needs. And yeah, LaoHuang doesn't put anything, so djinges gets that. And maybe just takes the culture if he still can.
Yeah.
Takes professional sports. I mean, he's gonna lose this war. After that, he can't defend. I mean, you have to count how much culture do you lose by... Oh, taking the red cross.
Oh.
So he decides he's just gonna lose the war. Yeah, you need 3 resources for that knight, djinges.
Yeah.
But you can take that from the Louvre if you want to. Yeah, then rebuild the knight and goes back to 44. And not end with corruption, or not end with starvation. That next turn he wants to go for professional sports.
It's really interesting, the math there to invest in Red Cross versus
yeah,
increasing, because he can get one more stage with the reserves, so he'll get 12 from it, which is not bad.
Yeah, I mean, can LaoHuang build a step? And now we see 72 against 84. I mean, now LaoHuang's djinges still is ahead. And LaoHuang's last turn, maybe djinges could show us LaoHuang's civilization. But yeah, this one war might not be enough. If there's an aggression, that might change stuff. But djinges also took the endowment of the arts. So if LaoHuang becomes gets more culture before djinges' last turn,
it's really interesting.
and djinges can play the endowment of the arts. I mean, LaoHuang can also build one step of the red cross. Yeah, this is really, really interesting. He can go for one more technology. He doesn't have enough for a wonder, even not with the engineering genius. He's not gonna produce a lot this turn, so if he maybe wants to go for an aggression, that could be great. Armed intervention or something, maybe good impact. So it's gonna be really, really close. He can build one step of the red cross.
I wonder if he could finish a wonder, actually. If he does an aggression and takes resources.
With the right, yeah, I mean, a project he could finish that, right? The rest has too many steps. He doesn't have the civil actions to take one of those wonders and finish it.
Yeah.
So if only you could steal civil actions. Yeah, he doesn't really have any ways to produce more culture this turn. Also, he doesn't want, like, if he can get 1 or 2 culture more than djinges, he doesn't want that, because djinges has the endowment of the arts. So this might get really, really close. And LaoHuang is thinking about this. Even after that one big war, this is not over. djinges got enough out of Pierre that he did not really defend against the war at all, but also taking the 7 culture from the autonomous territory. Autonomous territory is gonna give him more from the input of government as well.
Yeah.
So all of these are factors that are gonna be really, really important in this game. Oh, and successful aggression. So LaoHuang will finish with 85. Oh no, he still has his turn ahead of himself. Builds 1 religion, takes Marlene. She's not really giving him a lot besides strength. I mean, a lot might come down to the impacts. And we don't know actually which ones LaoHuang played. We only saw those that djinges played.
Yeah. That'll keep us in suspense a little bit longer.
And he can play one of those impacts. But not if... yeah, but I mean, impact of technology, he will go for the professional sports. So that's 3 more culture for him. Ooh, 4 more culture from LaoHuang for the impact of agriculture. But endowment of the arts, professional sports. I think djinges has this if there are no really, really crazy impacts. Goes to full happy phase because of impact of happiness. There's still impact of government that's gonna be good for djinges, maybe? I'm not sure. Oh, this is a really, really close game. Produces another 9 culture. And djinges starts with a little bit more balances.
Happiness.
16
Strength has to be in there, right?
I don't know.
Oh, it's not enough.
Government, and the last one is technology. Oh, so djinges able to win it after getting a war 88 against 44. So 1 war is not enough for LaoHuang. So really, really close game. And
man, that was a roller coaster.
Yeah, completely. And we questioned djinges for not taking Gandhi, but in the end,
it worked out.
It worked out.
I mean,
yeah.
It's interesting if done the war at all though. With he had taken Gandhi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably could have gone for 1 war. Who knows? I mean, it's hard to say really, but I think maybe could have gone for 1 war, and then it would have been a little bit equal. Maybe not such a big war, but yeah, then djinges wouldn't have produced as much.
Yep. Yeah, it was. You know, LaoHuang had that very awkward start. It took him a really long time. The first turn of H1, he was well into his reserve. Then really turned it around, and it looked really strong. He just had like all the actions, and he had good resources, and djinges really turned it around through the middle of the game.
Yeah, this whole time in H1, 7 civil actions against 4 from djinges. But yeah, then the culture production that we talked about earlier, that djinges was building up the advance that he had, and then in the end, with all of those little decisions, not going for that autonomous territory, winning that, not building military, but going for the International Red Cross and the endowment of the arts, all of those very important decisions.
Yeah, the endowment for the arts was really smart.